Your protein shake is aging you faster than McDonald's. I know how that sounds, but by the end of this video, you'll understand why one of the most decorated longevity researchers on Earth quietly stops drinking them, and what he eats instead to trigger the exact same cellular repair process as a 3-day fast while eating 3 meals a day. There's a loophole in your biology. Almost nobody is using it. Let's fix that. Here's the dirty secret of the longevity world. The benefit everyone chases with extended fasting isn't really about not eating. It's about a microscopic janitorial process called autophagy, Greek for self-eating, where your cells dismantle their own broken machinery, recycle the parts, and rebuild from scratch. Think of it like a city that once a week sends robots through every building to tear out the rusted pipes, the cracked beams, the malfunctioning wiring, and forges them back into shiny new infrastructure. Skip those repair nights long enough and the whole city starts looking like a 1970s subway station. That's aging, literally. This isn't fringe science. In 2016, Dr. Yoshinori Ohsumi won the Nobel Prize in Physiology for mapping out exactly how autophagy works. Since then, peer-reviewed research has linked robust autophagy to slower neurodegeneration, sharper insulin sensitivity, lower cancer risk, and yes, a measurably longer health span. The problem, for 30 years, scientists thought there was only one way to switch it on: starve yourself. Turns out, that was like believing the only way into a house is to break down the front door when there's a perfectly good side entrance nobody noticed. Here's the line that should be tattooed on every nutritionist's forehead. Your cells don't count calories. They read signals. They're not adding up the kilojoules on a spreadsheet. They're listening to a constant chemical broadcast, a Morse code of amino acids, hormones, and energy sensors that tells them whether to grow or clean. And here's the kicker. Those two modes are mutually exclusive, like a 24-hour diner that can either be open for business or closed for deep cleaning, never both. Your body picks one based on what's floating in your bloodstream, and you, my friend, get to write the script. The master switch is a molecule with a clunky name, mTOR, mechanistic target of rapamycin. Picture mTOR as the construction foreman of your cells. When he's clocked in and shouting orders, it's nothing but hammers and concrete trucks. Build, build, build. Muscles grow, tissues expand. Great for a 19-year-old gym rat, less great when you're 45 and what's actually growing is inflammation, senescent cells, and the cellular junk that accumulates into Alzheimer's plaques and arterial plaque. When mTOR finally goes home, the cleanup crew, autophagy, unlocks the gate. The question is, who's keeping the foreman on overtime? One amino acid, more than any other, is mTOR's personal alarm clock. Leucine, a branched-chain amino acid that's plastered across every product the fitness industry sells you: whey isolate, chicken breast, Greek yogurt, eggs, lean beef. Studies from the Pennington Biomedical Research Center have shown that as little as 2.5 grams of leucine, roughly a single scoop of whey, is enough to fully activate mTOR signaling in human muscle. Translation, that healthy 8 a.m. protein shake you slam after your workout, it's not just feeding your biceps, it's slamming the door on the cleanup crew before they've even pulled on their gloves, every single morning. But leucine isn't working alone. There's a second amino acid, methionine, concentrated heavily in red meat, poultry, eggs, and dairy. Methionine drives up IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1, which longevity researcher Dr. Valter Longo at USC has called one of the most consistent biomarkers of accelerated aging across mammals. Pioneering work by Ritchie and colleagues published in the FACEUP journal showed that methionine restriction alone extended rodent lifespan by up to 30%. mTOR and IGF-1 are like two deadbolts on the autophagy door. Standard Western diets keep both of them engaged 24/7, 365. Now here's where it gets juicy. You don't need to stop eating protein. You need to change the ratio. Your body has built-in sensors, GCN2 and AMPK, that don't measure how much protein arrives. They measure what kind, the essentials to non-essential amino acids. When essentials dominate, like after a steak, sensors scream abundance and mTOR roars. When non-essentials dominate, they whisper scarcity, and scarcity is the dialect autophagy speaks fluently. Landmark research from Solon Biot and Cell Metabolism 2014 showed mice eating diets with protein at just 5 to 15% of calories and proportionally low leucine and methionine lived dramatically longer and showed elevated autophagy markers despite eating freely. The human sweet spot? Keep leucine under about 8% of total amino acid intake, methionine under about 2%, and let non-essentials, glycine, glutamate, alanine, fill the rest. Hit that and your cells genuinely mistake your lunch for a fast. The protocol. Morning. Mornings don't sabotage what your body's already doing. After 8 hours of sleep, you're naturally in mild autophagy. The worst thing you can do is fire a leucine grenade at 7 a.m. Skip the eggs and whey. Instead, black coffee, caffeine activates AMPK, the same pathway metformin targets. Green tea, its EGCG mildly inhibits mTOR. Add fruit, hemp seeds, about 6% leucine, or berries. You just extended autophagy 3 to 4 hours without skipping a meal. The protocol, midday. Lunch is where the magic happens. Build it around plant-forward proteins, lentils with rice, chickpeas with tahini, quinoa bowls, pumpkin seeds, tofu, edamame. Rice and beans isn't peasant food. It's a longevity hack hiding in plain sight. Legumes and grains are individually incomplete, but together form complete protein with far less leucine and methionine than animal sources. Olive oil doesn't trigger mTOR. Non-starchy vegetables don't trigger nutrient sensors. You eat until satisfied. Your cells keep cleaning. The protocol, evening. Now the counterintuitive part. Dinner is where you strategically reload. Muscle protein synthesis peaks during sleep, driven by growth hormone pulses. So you front-load your day with cleanup-friendly meals, then deliver a high-quality protein hit at night when your body is primed for repair. Best evening protein? Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines. Rich in essentials, but 40% less methionine than red meat gram for gram, plus omega-3s that suppress inflammation. Pair with sweet potato or quinoa to blunt cortisol. You've sequenced your biology. Clean by day, build by night. Want to deepen the signal? 3 compounds with real, peer-reviewed mechanisms. Spermidine, found in wheat germ, aged cheese, and natto. The Eisenberg lab published in Nature Medicine 2016 that spermidine directly induces autophagy and extended lifespan in multiple model organisms, including correlative data in humans. Urolithin A, a metabolite your gut produces from pomegranates and walnuts, Andrieu et al. Published in Nature Metabolism 2019, demonstrated it specifically triggers mitophagy, autophagy of damaged mitochondria. Berberine, and plant alkaloid that activates AMPK so powerfully it's been compared to metformin in clinical trials. These aren't magic, they're amplifiers. The food protocol is the engine. What should you actually expect? Week 1, mostly invisible. Your nutrient sensing pathways recalibrate. Some mild fatigue is normal. Your cells are renovating. Weeks 2 to 3, steadier afternoon energy. Skin clarity improves. CRP and IL-6 inflammation markers drop in most users tracking blood work. Week 4 plus, sharper cognition, better sleep, improved fasting glucose. The slow, real, measurable rewiring of a body that's finally being allowed to do its job. For decades, we thought longevity required suffering. It doesn't. It requires literacy, learning the language your cells already speak. You don't need a 72-hour fast. You don't need a $400 supplement stack. You need to stop screaming "build" at your cells 16 hours a day and let them whisper back, "Let us clean." That's the trick. That's the science. And now, that's yours.